Let me take another swig of my agua.
I really did not like that noise.
It's spilled everywhere. Welcome to the Spooky Dooky podcast, the only horror podcast for you social outcasts. We are your hosts. I'm Derek.
I'm Mike.
And Mike just watched Bird Box, and I watched Bird Box 3 days ago on Christmas. I guess I'll read the synopsis real quick. 5 years after an ominous unseen presence drives most of society to suicide, a mother and her 2 children make a desperate bid to reach safety.
That's it? That's the whole synopsis?
Yeah.
Wow,
They both weren't her children, but okay. We won't get that right away, but you've seen it more recently, so you might have to
Okay, yeah, So the story starts with, I guess, a flashback of this woman, Mallory, talking to 2 children, saying, you have to keep your blindfolds on, or I'm going to hurt you, or something's going to hurt you. It's a very weird start to a film, and it starts, they get inside a boat and start paddling on a river, and they're hiding underneath a blanket, and they're all wearing blindfolds, and you don't know what the fuck is going on. It's very weird.
Right.
And then later on, they flash to Mallory, I think it was 5 years prior.
Who knows?
No? Whatever. They skip. It's a movie where they go back.
Oh, yeah, 5 years, yeah.
They go back and forth between time periods. And Mallory is in a hospital with her sister, and they're doing an ultrasound, and the nurse or whatever is like, hey, do you want to know the gender? And she's like, no. Mallory's very not excited to have a child for some odd reason. And the sister's like, no, you can't keep running from it. Like, eventually it's gonna happen. She's like, well, she's just shrugging her off. And they go to leave the hospital, and in the car, they're talking about how in other countries there's some sort of suicide epidemic going on. And they're kind of shrugging. It's very weird how there's like this plague going on in other countries, and they're not really too worried that it's going to come to them. And then all of a sudden, as Valerie's walking out of the hospital, she sees a woman just hit her head, I guess like a bird, like into a glass window. Right. And then Mallory's like, yeah, step on it, let's get out of here. And all of a sudden, all hell starts breaking loose. Everything's going crazy, and the sister, who's the woman from American Horror Story, I forgot her name, she looks up, and her eyes get all glowy and glistening, and she got sad, and all of a sudden drives straight into another car, killing herself. Mallory escapes the car. Pandemonium is going on. Everyone's pushing down the pregnant lady. No one cares. Everything's just going crazy, and she passes this house, and this woman tries to take her inside. And in the process of her trying to get inside, the woman starts talking to her mother randomly. And it's like, Mom, don't go. And she walks into a flaming car and sits there. But Mallory gets inside with the other people, and they shut the door. Where there's about, I guess, 10 other people who are trying to survive. And one of those people was the husband of that woman who tried to save Mallory. And he's kind of pissed off about, like, you just killed my wife. He's a little salty. And they're all trying to figure out what's happening. And a character named Charlie. What?
I'm sorry.
What?
This movie is just The Happening. It is.
No. It's The Happening and A Quiet Place.
And then when you said what's happening, it took me off. I could.
It's literally A Quiet Place, but with not seeing. I mean, okay, it's still good, but like getting back to the movie Charlie, which is I forgot his character from Get Out. He's the comic relief in Get Out. He's the security guard or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, this is the day we're all judged or something, saying a bunch of things about how there's different entities that control us, and now it's our time to, I guess, die, and which I thought was a very cool reference. They reference Puka.
Oh,
You
they
notice
did?
that? You didn't
No,
notice that?
no.
The fourth or fifth person they named of those like mythological creatures was Puka, and I was like, I just saw that movie. I know what that is. It's Irish Goblin. And yeah, so I can't just explain the whole movie,
No.
but let's just say that this movie, Mallory has to come to terms with. She's usually a person. She lived by herself, by the way. In the beginning of the movie, she's by herself. She's painting alone. Her sister has to usually get her food and whatnot, and she's just like, yeah, whatever. She's very depressive and weird because she had a weird upbringing where her dad was basically an asshole, and I forgot what happened with the mom. Do you remember?
No.
Well, she has to basically do everything she wasn't. This by the end of the movie, she becomes. It's a character building movie. She was very like a stoic kind of person. Didn't really care about things. Care about any other person. She barely talks to her own sister. And then by the end of the movie, she's in charge of like all these people in a house. These two kids eventually, and she winds up surviving this weird post-apocalyptic world, which they don't say what the monster is, but I
Nope.
guess see it looks just like The Happening because of the
Hmm.
wind.
Yeah.
So that bothered me.
Yeah.
But and I like how we didn't see the monster because in A Quiet Place, that's what ruined it for me. Because I do really like A Quiet Place, but I don't think that monster was as,
Yeah, it
eh.
looked like a tiny version of the Cloverfield monster.
Yeah, so that didn't do it for me. But I guess you're supposed to be in the driver's seat with them and imagine what the monster looks like.
So you're missing like one key element of the movie.
Was
Um the most important person in the house.
Tom?
The no. Felix.
Oh God, fuck you.
Machine Gun Kelly. Colson
That's
Baker.
his name.
Yeah, Colson.
That's a real rap name. Ugh.
The rap god Slayer himself. Machine Gun
Yeah,
Kelly.
and what sucks about this, I watched that movie knowing because my friends really like Machine Gun Kelly because I think he's hot, and I'm like, all right. They're like, he's barely in the movie. He's not a pivotal part of it, but he's enough in it where it's like, all right, let's show his death on screen. He escapes with some woman, which I thought they had no chemistry. It's a cop and a thug. I guess it's supposed to be like, aha, surprise, and they sneak off and steal the car, and we never hear from them again. I wanted to see that motherfucker die.
It made absolutely no sense because he was looking at her and she was like, not a chance.
Yeah.
Like, and it was no development after that. It was no like, oh, she's starting to like him or anything. They leave.
I think that days went by and they just don't show you how many days
Hmm.
because they did start to run out of food and such. And I guess they built up chemistry or whatnot. It's very possible, but no, I don't like it. I didn't want. He got laid in a fucking laundry room. I was pissed. He's the character who had sex in the movie. I don't think so.
I mean, everybody else was either pregnant or old. So.
And it didn't stop Tom.
True.
Tom, which we didn't get into yet. Tom is a very important character. Tom is there for Mallory through all of this shenanigans and whatnot. Everyone's kind of up in arms and pretty tense towards each other, but they seem to bond right away, and it's because his sister was pregnant with a fourth child, and he said some weird thing about I like to touch her belly or something, and it made me feel weird because like she was old enough to be his mom, and then also he saw it about his sister. It's just like, all right, this guy needs some therapy. But he's a very noble, great character.
Yep. This
and
guy Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, definitely. And he sacrificed himself for Mallory. And there's two children. One is the child she eventually gives birth to.
Which
and
is boy.
Yeah. See, because she's such a weird, disconnected person, she didn't even want to give them names. The second one was another woman's baby, which I think her name was...
Olympia, which is weird.
Yeah. Which is weird because I think they named the kid Olivia.
Yeah, I don't even know, but
because I was like, I thought I heard the name wrong. She's like, I'm gonna name you after the strongest person I know, Olivia. Her name was Olympia. She don't look like she does many Olympics, but
That's what I was about to say, but
now
I helped myself
I
because you
had
said
to.
it.
I had to. I'm sorry. We have to have some edgy comedy. So she says to Mallory, if I give birth or like if I die, you have to take care of my kid. And Mallory's like, don't dump your shit on me. Like, what are
All
you
right.
doing? And obviously, the whole entire house of people die by this one guy who breaks in. Do you remember his name?
Gary.
Olympia was a late addition to the house. She showed up and they let her in through, I think it was Tom, right?
I believe so.
Tom was very empathetic and let her in. So Olympia, during the night, let some stranger in. And everyone was yelling at her. She's like, I remember what it's like to be outside and being scared. And they thought they could trust him, but he's, I guess, here's what I don't understand, which we're going to talk about. There's
Hmm.
two types of people that are out in the world. There's the people who kill themselves, and there's the people who are alive and are leading people to kill themselves. He
Right.
was one of them.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like,
Because
what
he's
is he?
mentally ill.
So the
But
mentally ill get to stay alive?
right, but I don't know what like qualifies somebody as being mentally ill because he seemed pretty normal throughout the house the whole time. Because the only people who were able to see were the people who escaped the insane asylum. So I just I don't know. I didn't get it. Like even
Yeah,
the dude at the grocery store, the black guy's friend, he was like kind of crazy because I guess he was in jail twice or something.
yeah. They said he was in jail.
Yeah, and he was crazy, and so he was able to see, and he was trying to force everybody to see what was out there too. But I don't understand how Gary was crazy. I don't know. Whatever.
Maybe they said it very subtly and we didn't realize it. But I still. So does this plague make people mentally ill?
I don't know. This movie didn't. Maybe I'm slow. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it didn't explain much. Just like how A Quiet Place didn't explain much.
Hmm.
Um,
I guess you just kind of have to deal with what what they give you and try to make something of your own of the plot. Because I don't
right.
understand why the only the mentally ill people were like daywalker people. So like, okay, when Tom sacrifices himself when people are invading and driving around or whatever, are those people are mentally ill too? They just look like thugs. Are thugs mentally ill? Is this some sort of social commentary?
I don't know. I have no idea how this movie works. I don't understand the rules. This movie is a movie. I give it that. I don't know. This movie was over 2 hours long, and
Maybe
not no explanation. Maybe I don't know. They gotta spoon feed me some of this stuff because maybe I'm just dumb and didn't follow anything.
this explains why the critics gave it bad ratings, but it has a good user score. I think the critics kind of picked up on they didn't give enough information or whatever, and everyone just took it as people the way they consume things. If they like, I'm very much like that, where
Yeah.
sometimes I'll pick it apart and be like, okay, this is bullshit. But
Right.
most horror movies, most they're gonna what to expect. You're not gonna get a plot that's like there's gonna be plot holes and there's gonna be
Right.
things that you're gonna not like. See, I just judge it on base if I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the suspense and the tension they build in the movie. So I guess that's why the users liked it as just like a surface level thing, but the
Right.
critics are kind of like, well, you're not really doing anything for us. It's just the happening, but you're giving us less.
Uh,
I'll give it this. I like this movie better than the happening.
okay.
But this versus the Quiet Place, hell no. Quiet Place wrecks it.
Oh yeah, but okay, so The Happening is a terrible movie, but at least it's fun to watch. This movie, I don't think I will ever go back to watch this movie ever again.
I don't think I'll go back to watch it because it's not really a movie that it's more of like an emotional movie, I guess, where like you said, I said earlier with the character building or whatever, it's like I don't want to watch Sandra Bullock realize that she is a mother. Like that's just me.
Yeah. Um, I feel like this is about to be a short review because I'm ready to give this a spooky or a dookie because
Okay, well,
we're already going towards that direction anyway.
okay, yeah. Let me just touch up on some last things that I liked
Gotcha.
about the movie. Well, here's one thing too, which this is one thing I didn't like. What the hell makes birds so mighty and powerful that they decide where the fuck a demon is?
I don't. I mean, I don't know because
Is there folklore?
movies always be like, oh, animals can sense that like when there's a demon around or whatever, and I guess birds are that thing. Like, why is it not affecting animals? I don't know.
So you didn't enjoy like? Is there anything you did enjoy of this movie? You didn't like how like I like the tension of like when they're walking around with the blindfolds and they have to basically like string along like they have like what is that like wire to try to get back and forth. I thought that was really interesting. Like they're not doing anything revolutionary,
Mm-mm.
not at all.
Well, yeah, they did one scene that was kind of revolutionary that I really liked.
What
Was the drive to the grocery store. That was my favorite scene. I really
that was
liked that.
cool.
Yeah. And then they were using the motion sensors to determine what was like around them, and like it went around the whole car. I like that. It was good, but I don't know. Other than that, man, yeah.
Wow. Most people liked it. I don't know. I liked it, but I guess we could just go straight in. Like, we're not even going to talk about this movie anymore. Let's give it Spooky or Dookie. You're pretty set. What is your rating?
I'm not shitting on this movie.
If you give it a Dookie, you're literally shitting on it.
No, no, no. Okay, spooky means watch it. Dookie means don't watch it. Okay,
Okay.
and I'm going to give it a Dookie, but that's because I personally feel like all of Sandra Bullock's movies are overhyped. Like I did not like Gravity at all. It was boring. This movie, I don't want to say it was boring, but it had its moments. This movie was way too long.
No, I
Way too.
do. The pacing was bullshit. I didn't like that. I
This
agree.
movie was 2 hours and 4 minutes. 2 hours and 4 minutes. If you want to watch a movie about people killing themselves, watch The Happening. It's fun. It's really stupid, but at least you get to watch Marky Mark like do terrible acting. This movie, I I just I don't have the time to even try to watch it again. Like I like to watch movies twice before I get a solid opinion on it. But this movie I can't watch again. I refuse to watch again. It's too long to even try to watch again. I was bored while watching it, and I know I'll be even more bored on the second watch or playthrough. So I'm gonna give it a Dookie. I know people are gonna watch it regardless. People liked it. Netflix always have these movies that come out that gets overhyped on Twitter, like that Spanish movie Veronica. Everybody wants to watch it because I don't know, it's just good viral marketing that just happens. I feel like they have like plants somewhere and it, they know their audience, they know their target audience, and they did a good job at marketing this movie. But I don't recommend watching it.
The thing with movies like this that go straight to Netflix, people almost everybody has Netflix, and it's
Right,
they pay for it, but they think of it as free
right,
because it's just already there. So when people watch it, there's like when you give money to something, you have a lot more expectation, a lot more reason to tear it apart.
exactly.
I think people there's a lot of things that go into this. It's December, there's really not too much going on. So people are hyped to just find something to gravitate towards.
Yeah, if I would have had to see this movie in theater, I would be outside looking for that being so I can just end it all. Because I will not pay an additional 13, $15 to see this movie in theaters. I'm good.
Well, I'm gonna give it a spooky. Derek was bored by this movie. Besides the fact that it was too long, I did enjoy the movie. I like a lot of the characters, which is rare for me in a horror movie. Horror movies, you have a lot of throwaway characters, and there could have been a lot of characters I disliked in this because they had a bunch of people in a house that were all different types of people. But everyone's, it worked, the chemistry and whatnot. It was rewarding, I guess, to see the fuck is it? Mallory at the end of the movie finally embrace that, maybe you should give your kids a name. When she fucking meets up with the old nurse, she's like, what are their names? And they're like, boy, girl. I'm like, oh my God, it's embarrassing.
In that situation, I wouldn't name my kids either. You don't want to get too attached. You don't know what's going to happen.
You were with them for 5 years.
But you still don't know what's going to happen. Like, once they die, you'll be like,
Tom was like, you gotta live. You gotta live. That's not living. Listen to Tom's words. Tom's probably the best character there.
No, Douglas was, but go off.
Wait, Douglas, the bitter old guy?
Yeah.
Yo, fuck that guy.
He was right about Gary.
Okay, he was right about Gary, but also he was wrong about a bunch of other shit. Like he says, I'm never wrong, but he was like wrong a shit ton of times.
When was he wrong?
I don't remember.
Exactly. He was right about staying in a grocery store instead of going back to the
what are
house.
You, John Malkovich stan or something? Like, what is this?
No, see, that's why I will be the bad. I can't watch apocalypse movies because I always side with the bad guy. Like, they make more sense. Like, I will be more focused on me trying to survive instead of like hoping a large group. But maybe that makes me evil, a sociopath.
No,
I don't care.
I was watching something, and there's a psychology of you're always born on your own side and whatnot.
Right.
So you always defend for yourself. No matter every action we make is for ourselves, even to please people. We get gratification from that. There's a million. I can go on and on.
Altruism.
Is that what it's called?
Yes. I don't know why I was looking that up a couple months ago, but yeah.
So it makes sense in an apocalyptic scenario. You're looking out for yourself.
Right.
I guess that most people don't want to think that they'd be like that. So you don't want to relate with the Douglas character.
But I do.
But he is very cynical and bitter and grumpy, but a lot of the things
he just explained me.
Yeah. So he was trying to stay alive. Not that they all weren't, but they were kind of all like, let's get a campfire going and eat some fucking Pop-Tarts.
Right.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
So, man, did I ever give this a rating? I forgot. No, I gave it a spooky. I gave it a spooky. I think that it's an interesting movie, especially for a Netflix movie. A lot of Netflix movies, not just Netflix exclusive, just a lot of what's on Netflix, a lot of trash, a lot of B movies, not like the kind of good movies or whatever. No, there's not a lot of things to watch on Netflix anymore, besides like their own programming, which is one of them. Do I think it is worth the hype? No. I think that people just need to gravitate towards something, especially when there's nothing going on. The tension, like I said, was really good. It was a heartwarming story. I didn't like the ending too much when they show up to the blind sanctuary or whatever. I thought there was going to be more there. You know what's weird? I kind of wish that they all died, but not like in a fucked up way, because like they kind of fought through a little too much for my liking. Yeah. Like I thought the kids were dead when they were on the raft and they went under, and I was like, oh wait, great, Sandra Bullock's now the lone survivor of this movie. But other than the pacing, I give it a spooky. Give it a watch. Let us know what you think about it.
Also, I just want to say, I'm not rating it based off it just being a Netflix movie, because it's good for a Netflix movie, but I'm rating it as a movie in general, and there's better movies out there, and it's just not great. But yeah. This is the end of the Spooky Dooky podcast. If you have suggestions for a new movie for us to watch, let us know by tweeting at us at Spooky Dooky SIU. That's Spooky Dooky. Dooky spelled like spooky. SPOOKY SIU. Thank you. And remember, stay spooky.
Oh, I thought like you were doing the whole outro, so I thought like you were gonna do like, oh,
No,
I'm gonna
you
say the
ruined
Dookie.
it.
I'm gonna say the Dookie first. So I'm different. Okay. Let's try this again. Stay spooky.
Yeah, whatever. Stay dooky.